Okay, hello everyone. My name is Julian Andres Uni, and today we're going to have the Intermediate English 2 course topics explanation of the Model 1. Um, so we are going to have grammar review for the Model 1 topics. We're going to have like the tasks and final comments that we're going to have for this explanation. So we are going to start with the modal verbs in past. These modal verbs help us to um, express what we could have done, yeah? Something that happened in the past already, but you're like kind of regretting, can you say it was possible at that moment that I could have done this, but it is not more than a regret, you know? Let me check in here, then I'm having, yeah, the full. And we have three in this case. We're going to have should have, could have, and might have. We are going to use the past participle as long as we have in this the auxiliary have, past participle of the main verb of the sentence, plus a complement. Okay, some examples with should have. In this opportunity, should have is related to something that did not happen, but we wish. In here is the clue word. We wish it had happened. Yes, we are going to use should have to talk about past mistakes or regrets. For example, something, the number of the lottery, you had the number of the lottery and that was the number, the winner number, but you didn't buy the lottery. So you said, oh, I should have bought the lottery, for example. In here we have another examples. She should have studied more to approve the English course. They should have gone to the Amazon region when they could afford it. That means that in this case, that is not longer possible for you to have this opportunity to do that thing. So you use should have plus the main verb of the action of the sentence in past participle. Remember that past participle is the third column of the irregular verbs. Now, continue with might have. With might have, again, things that did not happen, but we wish it had happened. Yeah, we mainly use might have to talk about the speculations. Yeah, speculations. So it is not that in the previous case, it was because you know something happened in the past and you know you could do something, but you didn't do it. In this case, it's more about wondering. Yeah, she might have taken classes. Yeah, but you don't know exactly if she took classes, extra classes or not. Yeah, it's kind of wondering. She might have classes when she was younger, but she was working. In this case, the translation is ella debió haber tomado clases. In the previous one, it was more related to podría o debería, pero en este caso sí es debió. We might have gone to the doctor, but she hates going to hospitals. She hates going to hospitals. Okay, just a moment. Um, could have. With could have, it is the same. Something did not happen in the past. We wish it had happened. We use it. We use could have to talk about regrets also. Things that we regret not doing or did, and it shouldn't be like that. El primero es debería, ¿sí? Eh, should have. El segundo es más fuerte, might have, debió. Y este tercero, could have, es podría haber tomado, podría haber, no sé, ido, podría haber something. The examples, she could have taken English classes when she was younger. We could have met that famous person that day. Yeah. Okay, let's continue with enough. It's used to talk about what is sufficient or adequate. Enough significa suficiente, yeah? To talk about sufficient or adequate. Adequate, what amount, quantity, or something related to enough in a certain quantity. So we use three types of structures with enough. We have adjective plus enough, adverb plus enough, and enough plus noun. This last one was mm, this blue. Enough plus noun. So we have adjective plus enough. This means that adjective goes first. Open-minded, enough. Yeah. My mother tried to explain my father why some women suffer from depression, but he wasn't open-minded enough to understand. Or my father was tall enough to change the light bulb. Yeah, we have those adjectives in there that help us to complement. Enough complements. Yeah, we have adverb plus enough. In this case, we are modifying not the noun, but we are modifying the verb. Sasha took the exam early enough. So this early enough uh, is modifying exactly the verb took. Yeah, but it's not took whatever. Yeah, whenever time, like at midnight or something. No, early enough, early with enough time for her to be able to go home. In this other example, Kevin and Rush tried to do well enough in the quiz. Well enough in the quiz. What well? Tried. Tried is going to be affected directly from this enough. Well enough um, adverb. Kevin and Rush tried to do well enough in the quiz to improve their grade point average. We have this other enough plus noun. In this case, we are going to have something related to a noun. But remember that nouns are not always related to people or to countries. Yeah, it could be something different. For example, perseverance. Perseverance is not a noun, it's not an action. Yes, it's something that you do. It's kind of, I don't know how to say it. It's like related to something, algo, no necesariamente alguien. ¿Sí? Eso es lo que quiero decir. Un sujeto en una oración no necesariamente tiene que ser una persona. Lindsay felt that she had enough perseverance to reach far in life. ¿Sí? Tenía perseverancia suficiente para llegar lejos en la vida. Paul's family had enough money to buy the luxurious condo in Miami. ¿Sí? Enough money, suficiente dinero. In the same line, we have two. And the same, we have two plus adjective, two plus adverb, and two plus noun. ¿Sí? Vamos a ver, two are real. I have never felt such love in my life. This is too surreal. Too, it's like kind of mucho, yeah, o también, yeah, pero en este caso es mucho, o muy. Two plus adverb. Nia finished the police report too early. ¿Sí? ¿Qué está modificando este too early? No está modificando el police report. No, está modificando de finished. ¿Sí? Nia terminó el reporte policial muy temprano, así que su jefe le dio otro para hacer. She had gone to the doctor too late, so the cancer had already done its damage. Bueno, este está un poquito triste, pero digamos que es como para el muy tarde. To plus noun, too many reasons. Eso significa el arroz tenía muchas pasas. Lola said that she had too much work. Mm, bien, aquí tenemos, aquí tenemos phrasal verbs y hemos visto phrasal verbs during the whole course, ¿ya? Todos los cursos hemos visto phrasal verbs. En este caso, cosas que nos van a ayudar como a em, hablar como en una reunión, ¿sí? Entonces tenemos get into, mm, tenemos break out, get away, fill out, make up. Entonces, get into is like to get into a place, como entrar a un lugar, to enter to a place. Break out, it's break out, ¿sí? Como interrumpir. Get away, it's to escape, like get away from a topic, for example. To fill out, it's to complete a format, like a template that you have and you have to fill it out. Make up, it means that you are inventing something, for example, a machine. Not an excuse. Yeah, it could be, but it's better to use it like with artifacts. Um, give back, it's to return. To pick up is to collect, for example, information. To pick up information. Try out is to test. That's something, but for example, when you are trying out a new car, get on, it's to continue. Grow up, it's to become an adult. Show up, it's to arrive to a place. Like for example, to a meeting, and you show up when you finally get into the place. Examples, he gets into the psychology lab, he made up a new pill to overcome cancer disease, they get on testing chemicals to eradicate symptoms of cold and things like that. Mm, mhm. We have the present, oh sorry, we have the present perfect continuous, and in this case, we are going to follow the next pattern. Subject plus has been plus verb using ing and the complement. Always we are going to use has been or have been, depending on the subject. Yeah, we can use also have. She hasn't been eating well since last week. So we have in here hasn't with the negative form being, then we have the next verb using the ing form. I haven't been sleeping much lately. I've been waking up at nights. Pay attention to this contracted form. You can also find it for you. It would be you've. For him, it's gonna be his. The same than he is he has already understand this, because you have to already understand it because you are going to find like both in the same text, and you need to recognize about the structure because you're going to find next to it a verb using the past participle. So, he's been, He's been, he has been, and he's eating, he is. So you have to be careful when using these structures, and you have to understand the full context of the sentence just to figure out what is the structure that you are using. Okay, past perfect continuous. So it is the same than the previous one. The only change is that we are not going to have the verb has or have, sorry, but we are going to have that auxiliary verb in the past. Had been and the verb ing. Um, it refers to an action, that condition that continued until a specific point in the past. Okay, so estos continuos significan que estuvieron siendo desarrollados por algún momento en el pasado, ¿sí? No necesariamente que haya sido largo, puede ser corto o puede ser un periodo largo, pero estuvo en desarrollo durante cierto término en el pasado. Verbos que no vamos a usar en ing, estos que están acá, ¿sí? Estos verbos los llamamos causativos, pero la idea es que no es necesario porque suena muy extraño, ¿sabes? Suena muy extraño, así que recurrimos a otros verbos que puedan llegar a ser similares. Entonces, ya saben, la misma estructura, pero cambiamos el has o have por had, porque lo estamos pasando al tiempo gramatical del pasado. Ejemplos. She became ill because she had been eating unhealthy. Ahí está. She had been eating unhealthy. She passed English because he passed English because he had been studying a lot. Él pasó inglés porque él había estado estudiando un montón. Bien, estos conceptos son supremamente, digamos, básicos en cuanto al uso. Ya para nuestro curso estamos un poco más avanzados, pero la idea es que los clarifiquemos antes de continuar con el siguiente tema. Nouns are the words that we use to name, for example, profession, places, animals, and objects. Todos estos pueden ser nouns. Hay muchas otras cosas que utilizamos pues, con los nouns, con los nombres, digamos, por decirlo así. Pero pues son ejemplos. Adjectives are the words that we use to express characteristics of nouns. Entonces, estos adjetivos me expresan características, por ejemplo, de animales o de pues un nombre. Por ejemplo, tigre. El tigre, el tigre es feroz, el tigre feroz, ¿sí? The wild tiger, ¿sí? En ese caso podría ser. Un adjetivo me está diciendo que no, el tigre no es solamente un tigre, sino que es un tigre pues salvaje. Ahora, con estos adjetivos nosotros podemos crear comparatives, que son los que utilizamos para comparar mediante adjetivos dos nombres. Por ejemplo, dos lugares que yo conozca. Yo puedo comparar, por ejemplo, si uno es más grande que otro, one is bigger than the other, ¿ya? Con los comparativos. Entonces aquí aparece el ER, acuérdense. El adjetivo termina con ER y eso me los hace como tener ese sentido del más, more. Y superlative vamos a necesitar el the y termina en est. Por ejemplo, the biggest. Y en ese caso nosotros estaríamos hablando de que estamos comparando con un adjetivo varios objetos. Puede ser uno contra un grupo o uno contra dos, bueno, cosas de ese estilo. Una vez clarificado esto, vamos a pasar a adjetivos para describir lugares. Adjectives to describe places. For example, we can talk about expensive, like you have to pay a lot. Yeah, you have to pay a lot. Versus cheap, you have to pay less. ¿Sí? Esto es para money, money. It is. Okay, sorry. Um, what about polluted and clean? This means that you can feel like comfortable because you're living in a clean area. For example, your space have to be clean, not polluted. But if you're talking about a city, you can talk, for example, Bogota is polluted, and I don't know, for example, Tocancipá is clean in this case, like to say something. Modern versus traditional, this is in terms of the buildings, the streets, like how is the city composed? For example, I don't know, um, Aeropuerto El Dorado is modern, and probably another airport, let's say El Eden in Armenia, is traditional. Yeah, it's kind of old. And you have also in here noisy, that you have a lot of noise. Sí, cuando hay mucho ruido, como you say noisy. And peaceful and calm is the opposite. Peaceful is something like when you feel you can relax in there. Calm is the same, like you feel calm in there. And hot and cold is the temperature, like we're talking about the weather and temperature. For example, Bogota is kind of cold all the time, and let's say Barranca Bermeja, that is hot all the time. Yeah. So when you want to compare to, for example, cities, you are going to use comparatives. How do you create comparatives? You are going to use the ER form, plus than. En español, than traduce que, pero este que es el de comparar, ¿listo? No es el de hacer preguntas. No es el que, that que is white, what, what. But in this case es que de comparar. Living in Tunja is cheaper than living in Bogotá. El adjetivo es cheap, acuérdense, lo acabamos de ver. Not that expensive, you pay less. Cheaper. Cheaper means more cheap. Pero entonces simplemente vamos a guiarnos por estas reglas que están acá. Si tenemos un adjetivo de una sola sílaba, le vamos a agregar al final er. Digamos que esa es la regla general. Cheap, cheaper. Pero si termina, si un adjetivo de una sola sílaba, pero que esa sílaba está compuesta por consonante, vocal, consonante, consonant, vowel, consonant, we are going to double the last consonant. Duplicamos la última consonante and we add ER. Bogotá is bigger than Medellín, or Bogotá is bigger than, I don't know, Puerto Boyacá, for example. If the adjective finishes in E, we are just going to add R. El adjetivo termina en E de una vez, entonces solamente agregamos R. The new road is wider than the old road. If it finishes in Y, we are going to replace it by IER. The Sahara Desert is drier than the North Pole. Okay, if it finishes in Y and we have two more syllables, we are going to replace it for IER. Funny, funnier. We're talking about two or more syllables. But in general, if we are talking about two or more syllables when you pronounce it, for example, polluted, polluted, you have to pronounce polluted, polluted. So you have three syllables. You are going to add more, another word before there is more. More traduce al español, más. More polluted than, más contaminada que. Con los irregulares tenemos estos. Good, good, cambia a better, bad changes to worse, and far changes to farther or further. ¿Listo? Ya ahí sí, la regla es memorizarlos. Con superlativos la regla es la misma, solo que no vamos a cambiar por ER, sino por EST. Y los mismos casos, si termina en I, si termina en I es de dos sílabas, pero aquí no existe more, sino the most. Tiene que ser así juntas, the most, no es solo most, es the most. Chinese cities are the most polluted in the world. ¿Sí? Ahí está. Con los irregulares, the best, ¿sí? The best, the worst, and the farthest. Ahí cada uno va cambiando. Adjetivo, comparativo y superlativo. Bueno, permítanme, yo reviso. I'm gonna check this out. In here. Fine. We have geography vocabulary, and you're going to look for more than in here. So we have in here mountain, glacier, river source, moraine, waterfall, river valley, tributary, river, divide, alluvial fan, basin, lake, volcano, floodplain, bottle, mesa, strait, cape, island, south peninsula, isthmus, harbor, ocean, river mouth, delta, barrier sandbar, gulf, beach, plain. We have different um, geography vocabulary, but it's for you to have like the vocabulary on your mind. Oh, archipelago, and like that. Next structure we have in here would rather and would prefer. Let me check how we're moving through the topics in here. So we're moving from here and we're almost in the middle. Would rather. Would rather means and would prefer are both expressions to refer to preferences. Yeah, both translate the same to Spanish. Las dos se refieren a lo mismo. Prefiero o prefiero, ¿sí? En español tenemos prefiero, ¿sí? Preferiría, he would rather travel to Aruba in December. Aquí, would rather va sin to, without to. We would rather stay in a luxurious restaurant. Oh, sorry, I'm running out with this um, battery, so I'm gonna plug in right now. Just give me 1 minute and I'll be right back. Mhm. Now it is plugged. Oh, we have energy. Again, sorry. And would prefer. I would prefer it goes using to. So that's the main difference in here. Would rather in affirmative doesn't use to. And would prefer in affirmative uses the to. I would prefer to visit the Eiffel Tower. I would prefer to go out with our friends to Sunate in Bogota. Eh, would rather with not doesn't use the to. I would rather not exercise in the park and would prefer not to exercise in the park. Yeah. Next topic, we are moving to tag questions. So tag questions are like those confirmation questions that you use to be sure about something we have already said or what a person has already said. For example, she is American. The tag is isn't she? So what we have to bear in mind is the use of the opposite affirmative or negative sentence. If the sentence, the original, is in affirmative, the tag question is going to be used in negative. Yeah, like in here. Sorry, this example. All of them, affirmative, negative. And we have them in all the tenses. She's American, is she? You study English, don't you? Um, were you at home? Weren't you? Tom was watching TV, wasn't he? He was reading five letters, hasn't he? You had lunch, hadn't you? Well, he'll read his this book, won't he? He can read this book, can't he? So remember that when you are using the verb to be, you are going to use the tag question using the verb to be. But if you are using another tense with another verb, for example, the simple present in this is the verb study, you are going to use the auxiliary do or don't. You don't study English, don't, do you? Like this. In this part, we have the past simple. So in this occasion, we are using the verb to be. So we're going to use the verb to be to do the tag question. If the sentence is negative, you are going to use the verb to be, the opposite in affirmative. The next topic is either or in neither nor. So you use either when you have two type of things and you think both of them could work for you. Yeah. There are two types of hamburger. You say, I want either. Yeah. One or the other could be either plus or, either the blue or the red. And you have it in there, either or. Both could work for you, either the blue or the red. You have the option to choose blue or red. You say either the blue or the red are okay for you. He will have either sandwich or hamburger. When you use either of them are new. Like in this case, it's not only about two. It could be um, a huge quantity of something. Yeah. For example, if you have 5 cell phones and you say either of them are new, they can send either of those invitations. Yeah. One, it's the same to send one or the other. Either for agreement. I don't have a cat. I don't have a cat either. Ah, okay. In this opportunity, you are saying either to show the agreement with someone or what a person said. I can swim today. I can't either. That means that you are not able to do it also, like this person said. And neither. Neither means ni. Yeah. Neither. I need neither. No necesito ninguno, ¿sí? I already have them. I wore neither. He sold a pair of shoes. ¿Sí? Ninguno. Ni. Neither nor. In this case, is ni el uno ni el otro. They couldn't get neither the tickets nor the shirts for the concert. ¿Sí? Aquí significa ellos no pudieron usar ni el uno ni el otro. No pudieron comprar ni el uno ni el otro. Neither he nor she wanted to have class. Ni él ni ella querían. Ni. Neither of. It means neither, ninguno de estos. Neither of the buses were going there. Ninguno de los buses estaban yendo allá. She didn't watch neither of the series you recommended. Ella no se vio ninguna de las series. Neither for agreement, the same that here, you are expressing it to say that you are in the same situation than the other person. I didn't like that movie. Neither did I. And you have to use it in that way. Neither did I, or neither do I, depending on the tense. Aquí, aquí we have, here we have the tense in past, so you're going to express it in the past. These relative clauses, we are going to use reflexive pronouns that are proceed by the noun, adverb, adjective, or pronoun to which it refers in the same sentence. Okay, relative clauses are related to objects that you can repeat in the same sentence. For example, you're talking about a car, and in the same sentence, or you're going to refer to the same car. So you're instead of saying the same car, you're going to say, for example, it like this or something like that. We are going to see. This could help you to clarify the person thing you're talking about. Um, next one, next one, next one, next one. We have these four words that you can use. Who, when you refer to a person. Which, when you refer to an object or something, a group of objects. Whom, when you want to refer about a person. Yeah, you're not talking from a person, but referring about a person. And you, in that, when you refer to an object or something like that, but singular. Who is that man who lives in 6-4? So you're talking about this who again here. So you want to clarify something about this person. That is the park which I want to visit. Which, because you are referring to an object in there from a group. Because you have, for example, 3 parks, and you're referring to that park in specifically. She's my mom, whom I admire so much. You're referring to she, but you are talking about a person, like, see, yeah, like something from that person. You should not believe in everything that mass media shows you. In this case, that means like you shouldn't believe in everything. You're referring to everything again. So you use those relative clauses to like summarize and to clarify information from your same sentence. Next topic, we are going to move to be used to, that is used to express things that you are accustomed to do. This has to do with habits. For example, he is used to reading science fiction books because he is addicted to know those stories. He is used to reading. So you are going to use the verb used to, the verb to be, and the main verb of the sentence using the ing form. They are used to checking their homeworks. Bien, report speech lo voy a explicar en español porque es un tema que requiere bastante cuidado. Y creo que es mejor para que de pronto quede un poco más comprendido por parte de todos. ¿Listo? Bien, si quieren pausa en el video, vamos a tomarlo lento y arranquemos con report speech. Report speech is used to mention something that someone has said. Esto nos sirve para expresar cosas que hemos escuchado de alguien más. Es el teléfono roto, ¿sí? Más o menos. Yo escucho esto de esta persona y yo digo que esta persona dijo tal cosa. ¿Listo? Tenemos dos formas de hacer ese reporte. Un reporte directo, vamos a utilizar quotations, y un discurso reportado, ¿sí? Que es más indirecto porque doy yo mi interpretación de eso. En presente, y ojo que esto va cambiando un poquito, ¿listo? Primera cosa que debo tener en mente con el report speech es que nos vamos a mover un tiempo hacia atrás, ¿listo? En casi todos. Si la persona me dice en presente como siento amor por él, ¿sí? Entonces yo le escuché a ella decir siento amor por él o siento que me enamoro. Yo cuando lo reporte, es decir, cuando yo se lo cuente a alguien más, yo lo voy a interpretar diciendo, ella me dijo que estaba enamorada, ¿sí? Ahí ya cambió, porque lo que ella me dijo es siento amor, ¿sí? Yo ya lo cambio, a ella estaba enamorada, ¿sí? Ahí ya hay un cambio y nos fuimos al pasado. ¿Listo? Primera regla, se cambia el tiempo gramatical. Segunda regla, se cambia el pronombre personal, ¿sí? Se cambia el pronombre personal. Em, bueno, aquí vi. Aquí me lo está diciendo Ana, ¿cierto? A mí. Entonces yo digo she, porque ella me dice yo siento amor. Entonces yo digo ella sentía amor. Ella me dijo que ella sentía amor. Ella. Entonces hay un cambio en el pronombre. ¿Listo? Verbo cambia. Pronombre cambia. Y si tuviéramos un indicador de tiempo, por ejemplo, si ella me dijo, hoy me siento mejor que ayer, entonces yo tengo que cambiarlo al momento en que yo lo esté contando. Ella me dijo que ese día se sentía mejor que el día anterior. Ese cambio también se tiene que notar en mi reporte. ¿Listo? Entonces, ahí hay cambios. Bien, si tenemos una oración en presente, yo la cambio a pasado simple. Importantísimo set that. ¿Listo? Aquí puede incluirse that. Ella dijo que. Ella dijo que tal cosa. Anna said that she was on her way. ¿Listo? Entonces, si está en presente, ella me lo dice, I'm on my way. ¿Sí? Yo lo cambio a pasado simple. Si está presente simple, lo paso a pasado simple. Si me lo dice en pasado simple, por supuesto, en mi reporte yo lo voy a cambiar a pasado perfecto porque me ando devolviendo un tiempo gramatical hacia atrás. ¿Listo? Vamos a cambiarlo a pasado perfecto. Si la persona me lo dice en presente perfecto, yo lo reporto en pasado perfecto. ¿Sí? Me voy un tiempo hacia atrás. Y con los verbos modales, pues dependiendo, voy a usar el verbo modal en pasado si es el caso, como por ejemplo can. I can cook Mexican food. He told me that he could cook Mexican food. ¿Sí? Dependiendo. ¿Listo? Esto por ahí. Desde luego tenemos muchos más tiempos gramaticales. La persona me lo puede decir en futuro, ¿sí? La persona me lo puede decir en presente progresivo, en pasado progresivo, ¿sí? Entonces, dependiendo de eso, pues va a haber un cambio directo. Por ahora, vamos a asumirlo de esta forma. ¿Listo? Let's continue with reflexive pronouns. With reflexive pronouns that help us to mention things about ourselves. Yeah. In this case, ourselves means that you are talking about the same person. Yeah. Myself. You are going to use myself, she, herself, he, herself, himself, it, itself, we, ourselves, and look at the change with F for we, they, we're going to talk about themselves, and you for plural, yourselves, or yourself if it is in singular. Si fuera en singular, no sería yourselves, sino yourself terminado en F hasta aquí. ¿Listo? Sería yourself. Listo. ¿Qué podemos hacer con esto? Pues hablar de oraciones que nosotros mismos hacemos. I cut my hair myself. Yo mismo me corto mi cabello. ¿Ya? She washed her clothing herself. He did the social studies himself. Mire que normalmente está así, pero lo podemos encontrar en otra posición. ¿Listo? Y we are done, guys. Finish, finish. Bien. Tenemos entonces las actividades calificables. Remember that you can present twice. Pueden presentar dos veces el 1.1, el 2.1 y el 3.1, que son talleres, workshops. 1.2, 2.2, and 3.2, you can present it only once. And those are exams. Yes. La diferencia entre estos y estos es que este es examen y esto es taller. Como es taller, lo puedo presentar durante una semana completa y no pasa nada. Voy abriendo la actividad, presento uno o dos ejercicios, cierro sin decirle entregar y mañana voy a encontrar el avance que yo he realizado. La plataforma va guardando. Con los parciales, no. Con los parciales solamente tengo un intento y apenas le digo clic en comenzar, arrancan 75 minutos a descontar. Tenemos lectura, gramática, escucha y em, también tenemos el componente oral. Así que ustedes tienen que hacer la producción oral. Permítanme un segundo. Entonces, chicos, eso ha sido todo por hoy. Espero que pasen muy buen día y God bless you lots. Listo. Detener grabación.